Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe. Today we've got something a little bit different from our regular videos. Still goes off-road, but yeah, 2 wheels instead of 4. Stay tuned. Anyway, so at the beginning of the year, I kind of told you guys I wanted to do more videos of just kind of like day-to-day life, my other hobbies, I guess, and I have not been doing that really. But I figured if you like this channel and you like the stuff going on the channel, you probably like mountain bikes. And I of course like mountain bikes, and I have recently gotten much more involved in mountain bikes. I've always loved bikes and biking my whole life. Before I had a driver's license, it was all about building and tricking out bikes. BMX bikes, mountain bikes, on a budget, of course. So, me and my buddies have gotten more into mountain biking, and I actually have a really nice bike. It's over there, and that's gonna be in another video that technically should have been filmed before this one. I just need to get this stuff filmed so I can show you guys. Anyway, got this giant brass XX SX, and it's a 2011 model, full suspension, and I wasn't really looking for this, kind of like how I'm not ever really looking for anything that I buy for the cars, but I'm always looking. Anyway, got this. We'll either fix it, sell it, part it, whatever, but right now I just need to get it cleaned up and going. It seems to be in fairly good condition. It's filthy. It's covered in stickers, which I'm trying to peel off right now because I need to wash it. Sorry about the neighbor dogs. Before I wash it, I should probably get these stickers off and de-sticky it, and maybe run the clay bar across it because I see there's like some overspray on it or something from hanging in someone's garage, and generally just go overboard with it before we go putting it back together and changing out some things right away, because I happen to have some stuff here that was going to be for the other bike, now for this bike, so let's just get at it. Well, I got the bike all de-stickered and washed. Well, first wash of many, because it's still really grimy around the bottom bracket and the whole rear suspension area. But overall, bike looks solid, looks straight. Looks like it was used quite a bit for what it was intended for, but it also looks like it was maintained fairly well, also. All of the spokes on the wheels are tight, and the wheels are true. They're a little bit low, so we'll get those aired up. And we are, actually the first thing we probably need to do is throw on the seat so that we can hang the bike a little bit lower off of my makeshift stand here, and then change the camera angle so it'll be better for you guys. So let's go ahead and get the seat put on first. It's a saddle, I know. Alright, I guess we'll go ahead and throw the back wheel on too to get the weight moved up, because actually we're going to work on this cockpit area next, as far as actual changing things around, because those handlebars have got to go. For anyone wondering, these are 26 2.1 Maxxis. These are the, let's see, that one's ignition. Yeah, they're ignition. They're both ignition, and they are in pretty darn good condition. We've got disc brakes, front and rear, and it is a 1x8 driveline with quick release axles. And I did clean up these hubs pretty good. I gotta go pick up that special tool for the hub to get that off of there, to get the cassette off, so that I can check the bearings. They sound good, they spin good, but I did get some grease, and I want to make sure that it's free and well lubricated, since I did do a bunch of cleaning. Actually, before I throw this wheel on, I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol and wipe down both sides of this disc, because who knows what has been on there since I've had it, taken it apart and cleaned it. And I also did, I checked the brake pads already, they look good, and I cleaned them off with a rag and a little bit of brake cleaner, so those should be free of contaminants as well. All right, that's on. Let's move the camera around and start working on the cockpit. These bars are circa 2009 width, because when this bike was made, and I've become painfully aware how awful narrow handlebars are, thanks to a friend of mine. You know who you are. Thank you very much for that. But anyway, so I've picked up these. They are the standard 31.8, which is what? 1.1/8 diameter at the stem. 740. No, these are 7. 10.
Am I making you nervous?
No, because I was confused. I thought they were 720 or 740s, but then I thought they were 720s, but they're marked back, so they're like 725s. Interesting. Anyway, these bars they're like 720 plus. They're not cut exact, or they're not marked exact. I'm not really sure. Pretty much the minimum standard for mountain biking. Apply that term however you will for whatever part of the sport that you want. But anyway, they need to come out. They are 50 mil rise, which looks pretty similar to the factory rise on here. And I suppose these bars are probably like 700 mil. The gold ones were supposed to go on my other bike, which technically they've already been on my other bike for testing, which video should have been out before this, but like I said, the timeline of this is all off. But I'm gonna go riding this weekend, hopefully. #brokenfoot. And I need to have some wider bars, so I'm going to throw these gold ones on there, probably swap them out for some black ones at some point in the future. So there's a little bit of rust in there on that stem, so threw a little PB blaster in there down there. That'll probably work its way down into the neck, which will probably be a good thing to have down there. I need to do a check to make sure it's all working first, and then I'll probably pull I definitely will pull the front fork out of it, make sure all those bearings are all clean and greased. Everything feels free, and there's no like weird spots or binding or anything. So that'll be on my to grease list. Both hubs, the front fork, and I need to pull apart the bottom bracket to check all that. But that stuff should be sealed theoretically, and even though it was grimy down there, it didn't appear to have been leaking severely. It was just normal 11 years of seepage with dirt buildup, so overall not bad. Go ahead and snug those bars down just so that they stay in place. I'm sure I'll need to rotate them around once I get the bike on the ground when I get my seating position set. Same with the controls here. We'll just get them slid into place and we'll cinch them down once the bike is all the way back on the ground. I am going to get rid of these C-clips. Something I don't understand about this particular frame is, like I said, it's apparently it was full suspension from the factory, 1x system from from the get-go, and I've never had so much trouble getting a C-clip off of a cable. There we go. There is cable guides on the top of this frame and on the back of the seat stay, or the seat post. So I don't know why they would have those on there on a frame that this frame was only used for this bike, and I don't know. That's weird to me. Teeny tiny zip ties for these cables works way better than those C-clips, especially if you're using a hitch-mounted tire carrier that hangs the bikes from the top bar. Moves those cables all around. And the zip ties keep everything nice and neat in place. And if you want to get extra bougie, you can get colored zip ties to match your colored pedals. Spoiler alert. What next? Grips. This bike was missing grips. Well, it was missing one grip, and the one that was left was awful. So I actually have grips that I bought from my other bike, other video, bad timeline sequence again. These are Corky grips from Amazon. They had tons of really good reviews. Plastic ends, which I actually prefer, and they are double lockdown. They've got rings on both sides. And I actually have been riding them with my other bike with these bars, and I love these things. So I wasn't gonna link like the stuff that I bought off Amazon because even though, side note, things that I've noticed buying bike parts or looking at bike parts on Amazon. There's tons of stuff, just like there is for car stuff, but it seems like on the less expensive end of things, you have stuff that's got tons of really bad reviews. And if you look closely, you can find things like these grips that have tons of, like thousands of like 4 and 4.5 star reviews on really inexpensive stuff, which is fantastic because, again, like I build my 4x4s, I live in Iowa. I know I try to be realistic with what I need my stuff to do and how I need it to perform, so I can get away with not buying the most expensive, elaborate things. That being said, you don't want to go cheap. Read the reviews because you could really get hurt on something like this if you have a failure. Not so much with grips. Anyway, I will link the grips down below because I love them and they've been fantastic and they're inexpensive. So these Maxxis tires say to run 35 to 65 PSI, which seems insane. To me, I went ahead and put 30 PSI, which is what I run on my other bike. So we'll ride it around. I need to get a better adapter, like an actual air chuck for my compressor, 4 press to valves, and a air gauge for press to valves as well. Clean brake rotor, clean brake pads, and we will put it on. I don't know if you guys can tell on that video feed, but I'm sure I'll do some overlapping. When I was cleaning this bike up, I was like, why in the world did they spray paint the front fork? Like, just, it looks like they brushed it on almost. So I started taking the paint off, and I realized it's because it had the world's most awful late 2000s, early 2000s marketing sticker on the fork for the brand. So I peeled it off one side. It took longer to do that than to clean the rest of the bike. I still have the other set to do, but we will do that. Let's see. The brake rotor might be a little bent. But the brake works good. Of course, I went ahead and tightened up all the hardware on the brakes and stuff, but they still need to be dialed in. as well as the rear derailleur, I'm sure. Time for some fun stuff. The pedals that were on this were fine. They were just plastic Odyssey pedals. I don't know if that's an actual brand or an Amazon brand. They sell them on Amazon. They had open bearings in them. When I took them apart, they weren't sealed bearings. So we're gonna kind of go with what appears to be the gold standard race face, some Chesters in this nice teal color. Actually, the color is way more accurate as I'm looking at it on the screen here than it does in photos. We'll see how it actually uploads. But when buying pedals, get ones that have a solid shaft all the way through, sealed bearings, more bearings the better, and always try to find ones that have an Allen head, key, socket, whatever, recess on the inside of the pedal so that you don't have to use one of those stupid stamped steel skinny wrenches. Get ones that have the Allen so you can tighten them from the back with an Allen key. Make your life way easier. We'll get both these pedals put on. I need to adjust the front brake a little bit so that I can go ride it and test it out. Well, folks, there it is, finished for tonight anyway. I went ahead and dialed the brakes in a little bit better. The rear ones, I don't know if the pads are going bad. I don't have any experience fixing disc brakes on bikes per se, other than kind of dialing them in. It looks like they have plenty of meat on them. The adjustment's good. The rotor might be slightly warped, but they just really don't want to bite. I don't know. They'll lock up on gravel if I really lay into them, but they're not very bitey on asphalt. I don't know if I need to rebed them. Granted, these brake levers are not fantastic, so I might need to do some more research on that. And I definitely need to get the tool to pull that cassette off of there. I've got a little bit of noise when it's in the high gear. I think it just everything just needs greased. But adjusted the derailleur a little bit, adjusted the front brakes. You can see the front brake caliper there is actually not bolted on. One of the bolts was starting to strip, and the bolt looks like it's in good shape. But yeah, somebody probably cranked on it a little bit too hard. I may need to drill that, tap it out a little bit bigger, helicoil something. Not a huge deal, but something that needs to be taken care of. There you have it. Starting to breathe new life into this old mountain bike. I can't wait to get out and use it. It is weird riding a full suspension bike. The back drops down a little bit. It kind of feels like the bike is broken, even though it's not. That coilover. Do you call it a coilover on a mountain bike? Rear shock? I don't know. That jam nut, the adjuster, really could be cinched up a little bit more. I'm gonna have to get a spanner for that to tighten that up and put more preload in the spring, so hopefully it doesn't fall down anymore. I'm not a heavy, well, I'm not real heavy, a little bit. But, and again, it's 11 years old, so I don't know if it's weak. We'll tighten it up and see how it goes from there. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, this is not all we do on this channel, not even close. Mostly we do 4x4s, Toyotas, right here off camera for the main part of it. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that. Turn on that notification bell, give the video a thumbs up for mountain bikes, for a change of pace, for whatever. You can follow the links down below over to Instagram and Facebook. Follow me over there. If you aren't familiar, because this is the first time that you've stopped by because of the mountain bike, I post a lot more over there besides once a week. Speaking of that, I post a YouTube video once a week, every Sunday, usually at noon. So if you turn that notifications on, it'll just tell you when the video comes out. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap the video up because it is late and I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Until next time, thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.